Hey Melvin, how you doing? Okay, so I got your work up right here. These look fantastic. Really good job. These are really super interesting. This is really fascinating. Okay, let me go ahead and give my thoughts and my opinions. Now, the first thing I notice is that we don't have an abstract representation, nor have you given us the words that you're representing from your word lists. Remember, we had the word lists, we had the subjective traits and the objective qualities to create 10 words of each. And then we went to an abstract and a pictorial representation of each of those words for a total of 40 sketches. Then you take your final selections from there and you indicate whether they are the word they're depicting, as well as whether they're depicting that word in an abstract or a pictorial representation. And that's the only thing we don't have. Right now I'm seeing two pictorial representations of the Minotaur or the bull. Okay, so that's so we would need to have an abstract representation, including one of these as the pictorial representation. Okay, so I would like to see an additional submission with an abstract representation of the Minotaur itself. Okay, so, or the word that you're using to depict, to establish meaning to your client based on the word list. So one pictorial, we have two pictorial, we just need an abstract. Okay, as far as this goes, I think there's a lot of adjusting that needs to be going on through here. See how nice and smooth that is? God, that's kind of rough right there. You've got some green strokes on these little kind of highlights right here. I do not recommend that because it's going to be really a nightmare when it comes to production, and we don't need them. They're not noticeable. They're not an integral part of the mark itself, so I say we go ahead and take those out. Same thing with the green stroke on the entire bull itself. I think the combination of green for the nose, I think is really super interesting. You may even add some sort of pupils or some sort of eyes. Down here, I think this is really a fascinating illustration. One thing that's throwing me here a little bit is this kind of mane, this hair, which we usually associate with horses. So right now, I think there's some visual confusion going on as to why this big mane that is typically found on a horse is present on the bull. Bulls don't typically have that, so I would think that we would go ahead and remove that. Also, I would recommend that you go ahead and start thinking about how you might place your text in here. So in other words, how do you build your logo out of what we have? So do we have the mark right here, and then we have the name of the company below it, like that? Or do we have the mark, and then we have the name of the company next to it? Whatever that configuration is, I want you to start thinking toward that. Okay, so those would be my recommendations. I think you're doing a good job. I just think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding in some of the assignment specifications and requirements. So if there's ever any confusion at all, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'll be glad to clarify anything prior to your submission so we don't run into some inconsistencies slowing down the process a little bit. Okay. So the more I look at this, the more I'm thinking I'm seeing a lot of irregularities between the right and left-hand side. Basically, what you want to do in a logo, this should be a mirror image. The left and right-hand side should be mirror images. So you really want to get these down to something that's really shows a high degree of regularity between the right and left side of the logo, trying to shoot for complete and perfect symmetry. Of course, this wouldn't be symmetrical because it's a side view, but this front view would definitely want to display a high degree of I'm sorry, I was looking at something else. You want to display a high degree of symmetry based on both the design elements and the negative space associated with. Okay? All right. Any questions at all, please let me know. Thank you.